back for another, I guess you could say it's a tutorial, but it's more or less of giving you guys an idea how I come up with tunes. So I recently put out a tune called Love's Calls, and I'm gonna just kind of tell y'all and walk y'all through the process of me doing that. All right, so I have all of the instrument tracks here. They're already loaded, so I know what sounds that I'm going to be using. Just to give you an idea, I got a guitar here. Well, let's play the guitar. Okay. So that's the guitar sound. It's kind of a jazz guitar sound there. And here I have a grand piano. And it's mixed with some strings, so that's how I'm getting that string sound. So the two sounds are combined there. So we have that there, and then I have a classic electric piano that I'm also using. But I'm running it through a synth, so that's why we get that different sound there. Okay. This is some sound effects that I'll be using in the tune. This is called an 80s FM piano, so see if we can get that sound there for you. There's the piano here. This is a pretty nice sound. I like that sound. And then these two are just my vocal tracks. So we're going to start at the very top. So I come up with a drum track, and I'm going to kind of let you guys hear it. It's kind of like normal what I do here. So here's the drum track. So it's a love tune, but it has some real strange jazz chords in it, and I'll go through all those jazz chords with you here. So I know you have the drum track here. So it's kind of laid back. It's kind of have a hint of a funk kind of feel to it. I love the rim shot there, the clicks. And it's kind of syncopated because it's not on the 1, 2, 3, 4. You're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it hits on the two, on the and of two, and hits on 4. So that's kind of a nice little drum track there. So the chords, let's talk about the chords a little bit here. And there are some really, really strange chords, but now this may not be 100% accurate, but this is just what I heard when I was listening to the tune. So it has two chords, but I have 3 variations of those chords, and I'm gonna walk you through those 2. So the first chord is just this is F sharp chord, but F sharp major, but I'm not sure if you guys understand it, but I'm just gonna tell you just a little bit about the chords here. So it's first chord and the second chord. Then I invert that first chord so you get a different kind of sound. And then it goes back to that second chord again. So that's basically the intro, and the melody is those chords there. So if you're doing it in time, to the beginning, and I'll let you hear that with the drum track. But I'm going to unmute this pickup to the drum track, because I always do that so I know where I'm coming in. So it kind of sounds like this with just those chord changes there. So you have those chord changes. So the bridge would start here. Back to the top. Okay, so that sounds really simple, but we're going to layer this thing up and we're going to make it really, really pretty, and so it doesn't seem like we're just playing the exact same thing over and over again. So I'm going to show you how we're going to dress it up a little bit. So we're going to talk about the bass line. So there's basically just two notes in this bass line. I'm gonna go back to the piano so I can kind of play both of them together for you. So when you place that first chord, your bass note is right here. It's this note. When you go to that second chord, it's this note. So it's it's not, you know, I need something a little more than just those two notes. So I'm gonna do a run, which is fifths, first five and the first again, and I'm gonna go to that second note, that second bass note. Then I'm gonna walk it. So I'm gonna let y'all hear what I'm doing with this bass line, and then we're gonna throw the piano back in there with it. I'm gonna do the bass line and the drum tracks, so you can hear the bass line and the drum tracks. Walk the same bass over and over until we get to the bridge. a little more sense and it sounds a little better to the ear. So if you're playing that along with the piano part here, and this is kind of like what you get here. I like to distinguish the intro from the first verse. The intro is kind of like to get you into the song and get you into a certain feel or a certain groove before we get to that first verse. So let's go back to the top again and let's talk about my little friends here. And I love this sound. You got the strings and stuff together. So we're going to play those chords, but we're going to make it full, because when you're laying these on top of everything else, it sounds a whole lot better. So listen to what I'm gonna lay this in, but I'm just gonna do this on the intro, on the first 4 measures, and you can see how it sounds. Now this is where the bridge would start, but we're going to back up a little bit more because we're going to put just a little more flavor in here, before we go into that bridge. So listening to the tune, he's got that this kind of sound here. Something like that, but it's not exactly that sound. But I think this fits better with the mood that this arrangement is in, because especially there at the intros kind of has a more of a laid back feel to it. So I'm gonna put that in there, and you can see, and I'll kind of point it out right in here when they start coming in. So it's gonna put a little more flavor on the song, and it'll make sense when you start hearing it. those chords going to the bridge. There's a trick to getting back to one, so I'm playing this chord here, and which is kind of clashes because I got an F as the tonic there on the in my right hand, but I'm gonna play a G in the bass line. So it's that chord right before the change is, so it's kind of puts a lot of tension on there. So it needs to resolve back to one. So this is where you get the next chord. So it's at so that tension. So you got this note, and it's actually against this note. So you're playing them right here together. It clashes. You playing them an octave apart. It's when you get that tension there. It's really pretty though. And then back to the first chord. All right, so if you want to listen to that bridge one more time, we'll do it and I'll point out that chord here for you. Let's go back to that bridge here. I'll eventually get it right here. Like I said, this program is fairly new to me, but I'm learning. One more time here. Let's pull it on over here. It doesn't like that. So that's basically how we got that tune put together. Now, during this section here, I added something else. I actually extended a couple of measures. This is something totally different than what the original song did. I'm not sure why I can't take it to, oh, I'll see why. Okay, so I added a couple of measures in here just to make this a little different here. Sit it in the pocket for a second. It's right here and it's kind of smooth and kind of laid back. So that's a couple of measures where, you know, if you're a musician, you might want to mess around a little bit with the piano or do things like that. So see what else we added in here. So it made it really like funky and with that little extra bass in there. So that's really funky. then I just took some privileges and did some small piano runs just in that little section here. Guys, so we basically have that whole tune written, and I'll let it play for you from start to finish, so you can see the finished product. And you guys just kind of like tell me what you think there, and we'll keep on doing this kind of stuff. But here's the basically the finished product from start to end. And you kind of guys just kind of tell me what you think. guys, what do you think? Now this is my version. You know, this is the way I hear it, and I interpreted it this way. So you know, so it may not be exactly like the original version, which was written by Kem, which is Kim. But he is one of my favorite artists, you know, and I love a lot of the work he does. But this is something that I put together. You know, this is writing with emotion. If you guys really want to hear the finished product, please go on over to the other channel, Emotion New Soul, and the complete project is posted there. And you guys, please leave something down in the comments and let me know what you think. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys coming out, hanging out with me. And hope you guys have a blessed rest of the day. And we'll be seeing you.